Good morning. So, take 3. Haven't been sleeping a lot, so you can see me a bit puffy. Um, so, after the delusional phase, that was the point where I felt like, yeah, I have to give her um, half a sleeping pill. And she went off, and that afternoon we managed to sleep. Because being an alcoholic, my mother has no time, so she wakes up at any time of the day, of the night, and she sleeps at any time of the day, and it's all in small doses because noise bothers her, wakes her up very easily, and sometimes she would call me late at night and think it was morning. Sometimes I would call her at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and she would think that uh, it's late at night or early in the morning. She would mix everything. She has no time um, knowledge. So that evening, let's say she woke up. She slept in the afternoon and she woke up. And in the evening, she was really nice and calm. And she went. Sorry. She slept. She slept for 4 hours continuous. Yeah. And when she woke up, she was really nice and calm and all that. Um, what I realized, another thing is that my mother anyway, she's mean out of boredom. She's mean when she's tired. She's mean when she's in pain. Okay? Um, like a child, a child or when a child is getting hungry and they want to eat and they become mean. Many of us got this habit to adulthood. I had to fix that. I had that for many years, and I managed to fix that habit of being mean and um, making other people feel bad around me when I was hungry or tired or in pain. I had that for many years. Uh, but like I say, I fixed it, and now I find it funny. That's why I say it's child's way of dealing with all these feelings. But anyway, my mother for sure, she still has it, and and strongly. And now having her near me, I realize, at one point she just criticized and said bad things about everybody. It was like one after another, and I said, "Ooh, you know, what's wrong with you? You're in your mean phase again. You just have to, you know, cut heads." And she turned around. She said, "Yeah, um, I'm tired now. That's why I'm like this." But she said it in a very natural way. Like, "I'm tired now. That's why I'm like this." And I said, "Yeah, that doesn't excuse your behavior. It's wrong. To be so mean." And so now I don't know which day was which. Anyway, I've mixed the days are going by, so I'm just telling little stories of uh, feelings and things that I realized. Um, what was surprising in all this, there was one moment that I got really sentimental. I started crying, closed the door, and I started crying. And it was strange to realize that we're used to being insulted and put down and all that. That doesn't make us cry anymore. We get mad, we get angry, react, or whatever, but we don't cry about that. So the moment that broke me completely and I couldn't hold my tears was one. night. That was last night, yeah. Last night my father was still here, and we were sitting outside, and it was getting late, so I went to give my mother another sip of water. I mean, she has water next to her. She can drink whenever she wants, but she doesn't. She's not used to drinking water. She's only used to drinking wine. So we have to give her, the doctor said, give her a lot of water. So I have to push her to drink water. And I give her her sleeping pill. And she looks at me when I give the water. She looks at me and she says, "You would have done a mighty nurse. You would have done a good nurse," she said to me. But this I felt was, uh, she was really being nice, you know, she was not pretending or anything. I mean, you could tell her face was soft, and maybe it was because of the pill, I don't know, but her face went soft and she was nice, and she was like, "You would have made a nice nurse, a good nurse," she said to me. And then she said, "Oh, yeah, previously to that, we were talking about her not being able to take care of herself anymore, and it being dangerous living this way, you know." And my father was saying, "I found a really good clinic, you know, that you could go there. There's doctors and all that." And he gave me the phone for me to speak to his friend who has an aunt there. So I was getting all the details. And once I hang up, I said to my father, "Oh, it's nice because he says that you have permission to get out of there with a nurse. The nurse can accompany you if you have to go to a bank or if you want to go shopping or whatever, you know." And this my mother heard from inside. So later, when I was putting her, you know, to bed to sleep, she turned around to me and all that, and after saying, "You would have made a good nurse," she said, "Is it true? Do they really? Uh, you have a nurse that accompanies you if you want to go out for a walk?" And I said, "Yes." "That would be a nice place to go," she says. "That must be a nice place, uh, because it's not possible anymore, and I can't put you through that." Just, just the way I'm telling you, I feel like crying again because it was true. It was genuine, you know. It was not fake. The way she was saying it. And then when she said that, "I don't want to be a burden to anybody," and she turned around. Oh no! And then she said, "But we're not gonna sell the house. Yeah, can we keep the house a little longer? Maybe I get better one day." And I go there again. She was talking about her house. And I was like, "No, Mom, we're not gonna sell the house and all that. Maybe you can separate it in two," she said. You know, that was something that my sister and I wanted to do a long time ago. And and she turned around and she said, "Look at those faces on the wall." You know, she's showing me the wall, and she's like, "Look at all these faces. Every night they are my company. They look at me. You know, they look at me with those eyes. Don't you look at me, little man," like something like that, she says. I mean, and she goes to sleep. And that was for me really hard. It was hard. What was hard really was to see. I mean, I couldn't describe it. And then my husband said, "Is she let her barriers down. This is what, you know, touched you so much, is the fact that your mother is a person that always has barriers up. You know, she's always fighting behind her her shield. You know, she's got shield. And then suddenly it's a rare thing for you to see her, you know, letting that shield protecting her, come down and be a human, normal human being, you know, with feelings, with softness." Anyway, I went out crying. They were both surprised, you know, what's wrong with her? You know, she's not killing her. Like, just, this is too strong for me. You know, this is like too hard for me to. to deal with. And I think that will be the worst part when they are at the end, of their lives. This must be the worst, is to see the human being that is hidden behind all this bullshit, these problems, this drama that they make up, that there is a little human being. But of course, they don't stay there very long, do they? Because the next day, Cruella de Vil was back in place. So I had to go and take the customers to the bus very quickly in the morning. I mean, early in the morning. But my father and my husband were drinking coffee, and when I came back, it took me about 15 minutes to do my errands after that and come back. And I see them both, with that rolling their eyes back and all that. And then my husband says, "Oh God, she hasn't stopped. She hasn't left one person out." Criticized all the races, all the sexualities, all everything. Her people they know and all that. Uh, so yeah, back to normal. Everything back to normal. And of course, my father goes, "Oh well, she did change her mind about everything we talked about last night, because the night before we did talk seriously about her going to a clinic. Of course, she doesn't know it's a psychiatric clinic. We told her that it's a clinic for older people that cannot take care of themselves. But it is kind of an old people psychiatric clinic. They keep I mean, you pay, it's very expensive, and you pay so they keep them there for a long time. Not like the government psychiatric clinics where they keep them for 1 month and then they tell you, come and pick them up, they're fine. They're better or whatever. Uh, so yeah, she was really reasonable the night before, and she was accepting all this, and she was accepting that she can't live in her house anymore, and she can't live alone, and nobody's gonna really put up with her for very long, and she needs the doctors around her and all that. And the next day, you're not gonna put me in the psychiatric ward. So I'm gonna start to observe, when is she soft and nice, when she's really aggressive. She was quite a pain in the butt in the morning. Then in the afternoon we had an argument, which was very strange because it felt like she was pushing me, pushing me, pushing me. She was telling me all stories that she was adding a little more salt and pepper to, and I was like, stop, stop, stop. Every time you say the story, you have something more to add to it and all that. But she tried to make me feel like I was the one exaggerating, like I was the one inventing. At one point I told her, stop, stop talking about your daughter and my sister like that all the time. Do you want me to tell you stories? Do you want me to tell you things that I haven't swallowed, that you've done? I can write a book full of things. My sister can write a book full of complaints towards you, against you. My aunt can write a book. My father can write a book. I said, we can all write a book, and it will be a different book, full of complaints against you, for all the bad things you've done all these years. And she was like, "Oh, God, okay, enough, enough, enough." I said, "What enough?" When you start talking bad about other people, it's okay, because this is what they think. They can talk bad about other people. But as soon as you tell them what, you try and explain to them what they've done wrong, they don't want to hear about it. I mean, there's no fucking way. I was trying to tell her, look at you, look at the way you react. I am telling you that you hurt me that day when you did this and this and this. And you don't even say, oh, did I do that? No. You prefer to say that I'm lying and that I'm inventing, but the pain in me is still there. And you never in your life apologized for anything wrong you did to us. Never. You never. Me. I'm a person who easily says I'm sorry. I said, no, you're not. I never heard once. I'm telling you all the wrongdoings you did now, and you still try to make me come out crazy and a liar and whatever, and you don't even take in consideration the pain that I'm trying to explain to you. You know, no, there's no fucking way. They don't do that. But then they're nice, and you don't know that niceness. You know, it's it, it, it must be very hard to be a narcissist, to live with your own self. They are in so much pain that really, really, it's impossible for them to consider anybody else's pain. I mean, they must be in 24 hours a day pain, so much pain that trying to get rid of that pain by, even if, killing somebody else makes you feel better, just makes you forget about your own pain for a while. For them, it is worth it. You know, it is worth doing. It is worth accusing you or blaming you or criticizing you or making you feel like a fool or a liar or whatever. If that only takes a little piece of pain away from themselves, for them it's worth doing, you know, because they must be in constant hateful pain, I'd say, towards themselves, a hateful pain towards their own selves. It's awful. And then when she's talking to you, she's got a scab here on her nose, which, every time she pulls it, and then there's blood running, and I'm stopping, and she's like, really, you talk to her, and she's like scratching, and she's always, don't speak so loud, do you have to speak so loud? And I'm saying, Mom, I'm speaking to you really quietly, don't scream, I don't want the neighbors to hear our stories. So it's like, I don't want the neighbors to hear our stories. You're fucking walking around all over the place telling bad things about your children. That is okay. But when I'm complaining, don't speak so loud, don't let people listen to us, Yes, bullshit. Anyway, that's part 3. If anything else more happens, and I have any more thoughts, I will share them. Bye.